Well, g'day, folks. Welcome along. We're a bit late, not quite 24 hours late, but we wound up having a wonderful day yesterday at the Brecky Creek. So good to see the Roys and Kerry, who popped along to say g'day as well, and a few other people who rolled up too. It was wonderful to see you all there yesterday, and thank you for popping along and saying g'day. I've got to say, you're a deeply attractive man. Had a shave, done the hair.
Yes, mate, I live on a boat, and when I get an opportunity to see a barber and or a hair cutter of some description, I take advantage of it. So yes,
absolutely. Well, we've been talking now for a couple of weeks about the log of claims. Now, the log of claims is something that you've been working on for quite some time. I'm just going to bring it up now so people can have a bit of a look. He says, bringing it up. All right. Yep, good. There it is. So the log of claims is what, John? Let's just set that out initially. We're not going to talk about it exactly. People who, if you want to see what the log of claims is all about, go to vofhq.com and it's on the front page. You can download it and have a look. We want your feedback on it. And that's really what we're asking for, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. So how did you put it together? The culmination of what?
Okay. Well, the log of claims is a crystallization of all of those issues that I've become aware of from the different parties that are out there within the freedom movement. The freedom movement is made up of a whole lot of moving parts. So what I've attempted to do to the best of my ability, and there's very strong reasons as to why I've done it and done it this way, but what I have done is simply to capture all of those major points and that have been raised that I've become aware of. I've tried to crystallize them, i.e. not write a chapter and verse, but the opposite, but to crystallize them and put them into a national log of claims that all of the freedom movement can unite around. Okay?
So the freedom movement has lacked a direction as such. We've all got our own direction, but is it the same direction? So this is sort of crystallizing that.
Yeah, I mean, look, Canberra, we all know we had 1 million plus people down in Canberra and we were growing, okay? Now, we have enough. We had enough people there and then, and we have enough people right now to affect massive change within our country. We have enough. The problem is, all of us are pointed in different directions, okay? Very few of us are pointed in the same direction. And because of that, we are working against each other's interest at times. And a log of claims is meant to correct that. It's meant to have a single national log of claims that we can agree upon and unite around for all of those moving parts within the freedom movement, and so that we can all work towards the one outcome.
Yeah. Now, the Khazarian Mafia feature in the paperwork, there is a good reason for that.
Yes.
So explain.
Okay, look, the Khazarian Mafia statement that Ricardo Bossi did outside of the Russian consulate in Sydney went viral, okay, went viral. Finally, there was someone within the freedom movement who was prepared to name our enemy. Finally, there was someone who was prepared to name our enemy, who we are at war against, not because we've declared war, because they have declared war upon humanity. And the Khazarian Mafia, the war we are currently engaged in, is an old war. This is not a new war that humanity is fighting for survival in. This is an old war. And our enemy, the Khazarian Mafia, are an old enemy, and they originate over in Russia and Ukraine. That's why Vladimir Putin is over there at war trying to clean them out of Ukraine. And the Khazarian mafia have infiltrated nearly every institution and every group of people in the world, including the Jewish people, okay, including the Jewish people. And the quicker the Jewish people wake up to that fact, the better, that they have been infiltrated big time by these Khazarian undercover mafia who are Satan worshippers.
People are struggling, I think, with the belief system in our political system at the moment. New South Wales has just gone through a state election. The federal election happened last year for us here in Australia. We've seen other elections around the world that have had questionable outcomes, to say the least. People, I think, at the moment have no real faith in the political system, and even less faith that their vote is going to count. Is that a fair assumption at the moment?
Oh, absolutely. I'm already on the record after observing the massive voter fraud, voter interference, voter fraud that went down in America, and not just in the Trump election, but right throughout. Okay, and you can see Kari Lake over there in Arizona currently exposing massive voter fraud. Well, it's the same in Australia. I mean, these Khazarian mafia and Freemason powers have infiltrated our election system, and they have seized it. It's a seized operation, and they have control of it, and they are rigging it. They are rigging it, yes.
So this document is designed as a discussion piece, is it not?
It's more. This document I want to put to a vote. The only question I have for your audience and more broadly is, would you support this document? Yes or no, right? Yes or no. Would you support it?
Yeah.
If I was able to get an online blockchain trusting a ballot, right, a vote, would you vote for it? Okay, and I would ask you to vote for it. Okay, now it's not a discussion point. I'm not interested in being involved in endless discussions. However, it makes absolute sense that if there are people who've got a lot of skin in the game and they have contributed a hell of a lot to the freedom movement, if they raise anything with me that I've overlooked or something else that needs to be slightly amended or changed or whatever, of course, I would look at that and most likely commit to doing it.
But it's not a matter of one person sending in, I think this should be added, because it's one person's opinion. There would need to be a great weight of numbers to support whatever was being pushed forward by it.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's you got to understand it that we have a finished document, mate. I consider this to be a finished document. It's imperfect, but it's finished. Okay. I'm only seeking a yes or a no. Would you support it or won't you? Right.
Yeah.
However, I would never stand in the way of overwhelming common sense that had a lot of broad support. I mean, I'm trying to create unity within the freedom movement. I'm trying to get the freedom movement to buy into this and to own it, right? I'm not trying to fragment and separate. So the more ownership I can get, the more people to buy into this, right, the better. And I think it's the wise way forward. So I want to accommodate wherever I can. I want to accommodate, but there comes a point as to workability. Okay, if you throw the document to the dogs, right, the bureaucratic dogs, and to all of those big, pretend lawyers, bush lawyers that are out there, you'll never get this document back. It will be years before you get it back, and when you do get it back, it won't look anything like what it does right now.
Yep.
Okay, so you've got to understand that. In order to get something done, yes, you've got to be a little bit of a person that is prepared to roll your sleeves up and just bloody will do it. Now, that's what I've done here. I've rolled my sleeves up. I've done it and put this together, but it's been done for all the right reasons. I mean, there's no sectarian advantages inside of this document. I'm not trying and never did try to dictate anything to anyone. I've tried to capture your arguments out there, your audience's arguments, and put them in a claim. Okay, look, I've never fought any battle in all my union years, okay, and I've fought quite a lot. Your audience would know that I have fought quite a lot of big battles, particularly against government, as this one is, right? Okay, I've never, ever gone into a big industrial dispute prior to doing two things. One, and that's pointing out and identifying who the hell we're at war with, right? Now, if at one stage it was John Howard, so we're at war with John Howard. There was another stage, it was Paul Keating, so we're at war with Paul Keating, right? But you identify who the hell you're fighting, and second thing is you have a log of claims, i.e., what the hell are you fighting for? And that's what this simple document does. Nothing more than that, okay? And I commend it to you. Make the point clear that if there's something been overlooked or something that needs to be discussed, then raise it with me, please. But we've got to keep this workable and keep it efficient, and with the clear aim of getting it up, ready to be voted on. Online blockchain vote is where I want to take it. I'm not there yet. If any of your audience, Carl, has experience with setting up online blockchain ballots, please contact me. But that's where I want to take it and get this voted on, and so that it's got some legitimacy. At the moment, it's we are releasing for discussion.
Yeah.
Okay, but we want your support.
So you can get that document, folks, from the Voice of Freedom website, VoFHQ.com. It's right on the front page. You can download it, print it out, and discuss it with your friends and family. That's really what this is meant to do. It's meant to start the conversation around you and yours. Are these things that you could support? If they're not something you can support, we'd want to know why. It's interesting. We don't, certainly John doesn't claim to have got everything that needs to be in this document, but I think he's done a pretty good job at being able to encapsulate the general public's feelings and concerns. And if you go through the document, I think you'll find that it isn't going to ask anything particularly taxing of anybody unless they have something to hide. So that's just my opinion. Give us a thought. If you have feedback for us, we're very keen to hear it. You can send your email to locfeedback, as in log of claims feedback, locfeedback@vofhq.com. John also has his email address on the bottom of the document. If you want to download it, you'll find his email address there. I'll point out that any email you send to locfeedback@vofhq.com goes straight to John as well. So you don't have to send two emails. If you only send it to John's address, he'll get it. I won't. But if you send it to feedback@vofhq.com, I'll get a copy of it as well. So that's basically the way we're looking forward for this to progress. We want to hear from you now. The document is out. It is available for you to mull over in your own time and in your own way. Discuss with your friends and family, and let us know your thoughts. That's, is it a document that you can support? Yes or no? And if no, then please offer up your suggestions as to what we could do to make it better for you or for others who might feel that way. But bear in mind, just because you make a suggestion doesn't mean it's automatically going to be added. If the same suggestion is made a great deal of times, or many times, then I think that deserves some sort of discussion.
Absolutely.
And then amendment if that's the way it goes. But this is the starting point. It's not definitive. It's not set in stone as such, but it is a starting point for everybody in the freedom movement to view, assess for themselves, and if it's something they align with, then they should have no trouble signing that. And once we're all signed to that, we're all fighting, we're all pulling for the same thing. The direction is quite clear from the document, the directions that we need to go, and this will unify the freedom movement. So folks, share it around, get it in front of as many people as you possibly can and get their reaction to it. See if there's anything that can't be supported in it, because we are very open to the idea of suggestion, and obviously with the weight of many suggestions or the same suggestion coming through, then obviously we'll act on it. But it's about initially digesting this, taking it in, seeing how it sits with you, and then what you feel about it going forward. Thank you very much for all the effort you've put into this, John. It's been, I know, some months in the putting together of this. It's not something you sat down with one night and came up with in a few hours. So there has been a great deal of time and effort gone into this document, folks. I commend it to you. Give it a look. We're not telling you you got to love it, but we are asking you, with the greatest of respect, to give us feedback on it, because without feedback we can go nowhere. So we need to know what you think, and I hope you'll take the time to go to Voice of Freedom and download the document, print it out, share it amongst your family. It's important that everybody, every age group, gets to see this, because it affects everybody, what's happening. And this may well, in the future, lead to affecting everybody in a much more positive way. So I'm really hopeful for that. I know you and I have a bit of a working bee to do today, so we won't hold people up too terribly long. Thank you, folks, for bearing with us for so long. We were going to do this, as I said yesterday, from the Brecky Creek, and I do have some footage from the Brecky Creek, which I'll upload later today. John tells a couple of fairly interesting stories about his dad, and you might find why the connection to the Brecky Creek is so strong. So stick around for that. I'll have that uploaded a little bit later on this afternoon or early this evening for you too. Be safe if you're out there today, folks. John, thanks for coming around. Thank you again for all the efforts you've put into this log of claims. VoFHQ.com if you want to download the log of claims and have a look at it. It's right on the front page. And then please send your feedback to locfeedback@vofhq.com. Have a great day, folks. If you're out on the roads, be careful of those dickheads.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's rock!